Wild Run that said, let's start a blue rupee train. I'm thinking blue rupees are probably about the same value as Wumpa fruits, so I think it could work. How about a Wumpa fruit $5 donation train? I believe in you, chat. And with that, it's time to break into the next run, shatter your expectations, and slam the Google search for more synonyms. This is Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy Crash 3 any percent on PC, being run by Murcaz. The floor is yours.
All right, hello, I am Murcaz, and I'm going to be doing Crash 3 and Sane Trilogy for you all. And with me, I have Hobbs and Casually Clutching, so introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm J Hobbs. You've seen me before. What's up? I like Crash. It's cool.
Hi, I'm Clutching. I like it too.
All right, we're
great at this.
Yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it. So I'll count down from 3, and then we'll go. So 3, 2, 1, go. And we're starting. So I'll let Clutching and Hobbs try to explain the beginning of this, because I'm going to have to doing a lot. So
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right off the bat here, it's pretty fast, and half of it's during the black screen fade in, so it's hard to tell. But Murcaz will just interact with Coco right here.
Oh.
So she'll join us for the run, which allows us to switch to her, which is useful for a few reasons later.
I messed that up a little bit, but...
Yeah, all good, but you already did the first Hobbs slide. We'll talk a bit more about that in a level where it makes more sense. But he's heading into Under Pressure first. This is a major kind of reroute because we have a new out-of-bounds skip in this game. We saw Breath of the Wild. We just wanted to enjoy in all the skips and tricks. So this sucks. Like what Murcaz is trying to do, it's rough. And he got it very quickly, so I'm going to shut up for a sec. So he's having to do...
Blind.
Yeah, he's having to do a lot of movement where he can't see. We're going to quiet down for those.
All right, I should be good, I think.
Should be good.
Should be.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah!
Nice,
Oh my god, that's incredible. You did it too fast. We didn't have time to explain. Basically, there's a weird interaction with the rounded edges, or just the seams, kind of the corners in the underwater levels. If you spin and turn Crash in just kind of the right way at the same time, you can push yourself, you can just barely get yourself out of bounds, and the camera doesn't catch up with you unless you move to specific spots. But while out of bounds, Murcaz was moving around, navigated to where the crystal is, which you can just barely get, and then, well, I guess you come back inbounds, and then moved over to where the end portal is. And then you go straight from that into a fast platforming stage, Culture.
Do you want to explain hop sliding, seeing as how, you're that guy?
Fair enough, yeah. So hop sliding is a technique that you do in this game all the time, for the first half of it at least, where you do a slide, a spin, and then jump and land on a platform before that spin ends. Crash or Coco is in a diagonal spinning state, and you can kind of think about it like when you rip a Beyblade off, or like a top, or spin a top or something, where when you kind of catch the ground while in that diagonal spinning state, it will push Crash forward with a lot more speed than you normally can slide and spin at. And if you are able to continuously chain slides and spins one after the other, you will actually maintain that speed as you continue to go. But you can't let a frame in between a slide or a spin, or you can't end up back in the air again.
Yeah, so that explains the commonly asked question of why your slide spins so much faster than mine. And it looks really insane in these levels where Murcaz is going backwards, the chase levels, because you really need to learn the layout and understand where you're going, because you're just so much faster than the camera can follow.
And there
Very nice. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there I used the box falling on me to trigger the hob slide, so it thinks that I'm above ground, and then it pushes me back down. So it looks like I'm just getting a hob slide from the boxes, but it's actually a lot that goes into going into that. I just did there again.
Nice. That's a good setup. I hadn't seen the jump setup.
I really like it because it's I'm the only one that does it, and it kind of gives me good spacing. So
yeah, the nice thing is, or well, not nice and not so nice, but it's really easy to drop hop slides. And the big thing about being a top runner of this game is not just being able to chain them and keep it going consistently, but also knowing where to back up and get a new hob slide in virtually any situation, because there's a lot of stuff that's in your control, but also a few things that can kind of be a little out of your control and that can force you to drop them sometimes. And knowing how quickly you can like set up a backup one, like Murcaz did back there on one of the hills, is extremely helpful to be able to be consistent.
Yeah, so my hob sliding levels weren't perfect. They had some drops and some issues and stuff, but otherwise, like, this is a decent start to the run, and now I'm just gonna be zigzagging kind of like back and forth in this level, and this is a good time to read a few donations if you have any.
Alrighty then, here is a $200 donation from Armino to kick it off. Finally, AGDQ, awesome community, awesome chat, and awesome games. Time for my favorite childhood game, Crash Bandicoot 3. Let's beat the game and cancer together.
Yo, let's go.
Here is a $25 donation from Leave It to Lexi that says, good luck and the happiest early birthday to my best friend Murcaz. You'll crush it.
Thank you so much, I appreciate that.
Alrighty then, here's a $10 donation here from our best friend Anonymous that says, have to donate to the Cuphead incentive. This is the game that got me into speedrunning. I love to hear about what welcomes people into the community, and as an update, our first bonus game, Cuphead, is at $15,219 of the $33,333.33 that we need. We are well on our way. We have plenty of time. Keep it up.
Nice. Yeah, so throughout most of these jet ski levels, it's just cutting corners as best as you can, and you might have noticed that Murcaz was trying to like get on the bottom parts of those ramps because you want to get the speed boost from the ramp, but you don't want to be in the air. Other than that, it's just zigzagging, and cutting corners and stuff. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that zigzagging technique it saves about like a third of a second or something in that first level. It's a little bit more useful in a later one, but it's something that we picked up from time trialers where for some reason it just ends up making you move a little bit faster.
So fun fact about this level, in my I did a race of this together with J-Hobbs and another runner back in 2019, and I actually died in this level. Back then this was the first level in the run, but I still get made fun of for that, so hopefully no repeat on that.
PTSD settling in.
So there are like some easy ways to kind of get caught into a death in this, because sometimes when you do two jumps back to back, your second one will just be like a full height jump when you didn't want it to be, and it's an easy way to kind of slam yourself into a wall.
Yeah,
but looking pretty good on this one.
Yeah, biggest thing about these levels, just jumping up hills and being left when the road's going left and being right when the road's going right.
I didn't die. I can't believe I've improved in 3.5 years.
Yeah, just taking those inside tracks, almost like a racing game, you know, like a racing level or something. And you actually want to stay on the ground a lot of the time too, as opposed to the OG version where you actually want to jump. And now we come to our first gate clip. Fletching, if you want to go ahead.
I think I'll maybe let him focus for 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, I think he's got it.
Yeah, should be good.
Okay, cool. So,
excellent.
What Murcaz just did there, he used the platform that takes you to the DLC level Future Tense to clip through the warp room barrier and get into Warp 2 without having to do Tiny Tiger, who's a pretty slow boss and only gives the super body slam power up, so Murcaz isn't really interested in that for this category.
If you want to see Tiny Tiger, take a look at Hobbs' GDQ 18 run. Like that shows up a good timing.
We couldn't do it back then. Yeah, we didn't have that. That platform didn't exist.
Yeah, so if you interact with Coco and slide away at the same time, the game gets put in this strange, really funky state where you can switch characters while on that platform, and the game bugs out and puts one of your characters in a state where they can clip out of bounds. So yeah, this was the reason we wanted to grab Coco at the start for the most part.
Yeah, and then into Hog Ride here, the first of 3 different bike levels. The big thing is that you want to try to carry the first boost you get as long as possible, and Murcaz did a fantastic job there of navigating around the vehicles. It's a lot harder to control than it seems because he makes it look really easy, but you want to just stay in the same way that we cared about with the Pura level. You want to just stay on the insides of turns as much as possible, but also you want to maintain that boost.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is kind of hard to do, but it's really annoying when you mess it up. It's like,
it loses a lot of time. It's like it's really significant. And then heading into the next level now, this is tube time. And unfortunately, Murcaz was trying to get a little hop slide there and keep it through those boxes, but not a big deal. He would have lost it when he jumped up the stairs anyways.
Yeah. So the thing with this level is that there's a door. Well, there's a bunch of doors, but there's this one door that you want to get to before it closes at a certain time. It's crushing constantly throughout the level, and Murcaz is trying really hard to beat this door so he doesn't have to wait at it. It's just one of the mini map cycles in this game. These doors up here, and he crushed it. Easy. Yeah,
great job. Getting a hop slide off of the limestone block that fell there is actually really tough because it's there's kind of only so high you can jump and still land on a surface before or while you're still spinning, which is, that state we need to get the hop slide. And doing it on those limestone blocks is just about some of the highest things you can jump on and still get a hop slide. So even if you get it and lose it about halfway through, it's still going to save you time. It's really tricky to get those.
A bit of like a messy level there, but otherwise fine. Like I showed him most of the thing. I wanted to get a hop slide at the end there to go like all the way to the end, but I dropped it.
Yeah, but you got the cycle, and that's the big thing. And I was going to say another thing that we haven't talked much about is the order in which Murcaz is doing these levels. The level routing for this game is kind of fluid. There are some times where it's personal preference what order you do levels, and other times where it is all centered around how many masks you have, which is kind of the main factor. Certain levels take away masks if you enter with them or have no masks in them to begin with, and others you want to use a triple mask in order to go fast at times. So the order in which the levels are completed generally has to do with the number of masks that you want at any given point.
So these levels are deceptively easy to actually mess up. Like, I hold run the entire time, which is like the speed boost, and I just try to jump up hills and corners and stuff.
Yeah, that crystal is kind of easy to overshoot if you don't know what you're doing, or if you just hold X for a few frames too long. It's deceptive.
Yeah, all these jumps, like the jump height in this game is something that really is where you can see a lot of the range and skill levels between runners, is just knowing how many frames I need to hold the X button in order to get this specific height jump that is not too low, not too high. It's a really tricky technique. We're going to see Murcaz doing more hob sliding here in Gee Whiz, but I did want to point out something that is that he's been doing that we haven't really talked about, that he kind of does in all these really small places all over the place, which is something called a double slide. Clutching, as somebody who's, I think, done a lot of great work in helping to optimize this run lately and stuff. Do you want to explain a bit about kind of like what these double slides are?
So double slides, before we beat Trophy later, is the fastest movement tech in the game that isn't hob sliding. It's basically just where Crash slides again at the end of his initial slide. And it's only doable for some reason if you've just landed, which is like a bit of an anomaly to us. We don't really know why that happens. But yeah, you just like time 2 slides and it's, doable.
Yeah, and it seems like, that's really simple. You just slide twice in a row, but it has this good adjustment there. Good adjustment there, because that was scary.
Did not want to.
A massive pissed.
Yeah, did not want to take the risk of losing that mask there, because it makes the next level really rough.
Yeah, normally you'd like to just charge through that guy, but it's sometimes you just. The way the hitboxes kind of line up, sometimes you'll just take damage if you slide through him, even if he's not swinging. So,
fun fact about that enemy: you can actually stand on his sword and get swung around like without taking damage. It's like a bit of some bouncing up here.
Yeah, some rapid bouncing. A lot of corner cutting in this. If you ever see Murcaz not cut a corner with a jump like he just did a second ago, it probably means you can't. And then he's going to try to set up a hob slide here. You can't do a lot of them in these style of levels. However, that still didn't stop us from finding some places where you can do them and trying to put them in. But the important thing is this triple mask allowing him to move incredibly fast on these monkey bar sections. You can kind of see the difference here and how he'll even drop down to the ground just to skip some of the monkey bars there.
Oh yeah, some of the Crash games are pretty notorious for having slow monkey bars.
At least this isn't walk.
Yeah. Nice, even setting up one more hop slide at the end there. Really solid level.
Yeah, that was good.
That's
That
what
was
too
good.
in general.
Oh yeah, wow. We're just already at the end of it. This run goes so fast.
Yeah, it does. I think like once you do like marathons of this run, it actually zooms by. Like it goes so
Yeah.
fast.
We're
Yeah,
heading
well-
into Dingo Dial now. Yeah, go ahead, Murcaz.
The second boss, and if you ever watched like an original Crash 3 run, like not the remaster, we're gonna do the same thing here basically. But the only difference is that we kind of have to we have to wait on Dingo Dial a bit because he has very weird invincibility frames.
Yeah, like he's still invulnerable now, all the way up until Murcaz jumps back in there. There's a whole period of time where he could have jumped back in, but there was no point.
I'll also be doing some deliberate positioning as to where the portal spawns, because the portal always spawns in the same place, just to not be able to not wanting to run around for it and look for it. So
Use the shadows as a visual
stand
cue for
here.
that.
Very nice. You might be wondering, if we can skip the first boss, why don't we skip the second boss? And we actually can. Like, it is fully possible. However, you get double jump from Dingo Dial, and that fight is really fast. So double jump is extremely useful, and just having a speedy fight to begin with means that it's not worth it to skip that fight.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I chime in with the question of what else do you think is super fast?
Sure.
How quickly we just broke $50,000 in the marathon.
Whoa, that's incredible.
insane.
God damn.
Oh, another hob slide there from Murcaz in a really, a very low to the ground. Those lava pits, you can only do it if you have triple masks, otherwise you'll bounce up from taking damage. And they're pretty low to the ground, so they're a little tricky.
It's this is the only level I think where we're hob sliding with mask form, triple mask, because going through this level without triple mask is awful because you just take damage all the time otherwise. And we reroute for this level if we don't have two masks entering because it's just so horrendous without it.
So much slower. Very nice movement, even getting all the way
Very
through those
nice,
boxes and getting another little hob slide there.
Slightly too slow for the cycle I want, I think. So I'm because I dropped one, but I'll just wait around for it here.
Oh yeah.
Show you
really
guys
close,
this. So normally I
close,
would
though.
want to. Yeah, okay. Normally I would want to make that and be able to just zoom past. But I'm dropping some hob sides today. I'll blame being in a chat with Hobbs. He's obviously
course.
controlling the hob sides for me.
The master of dropping hob slides is here, me. So. But yeah, that level, I've always liked Dynamite. And fun fact, we actually used to do more, we used to use triple mask and hob slide in more spots, like in the other Dino level. But over time, they've been kind of routed out because the animation of going into triple mask can be too slow to make it worth it.
Damn, I love hearing about old NST lore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we did that for a while. We used triple mask there for a while. And now, what are your thoughts on this level, Clutching?
Okay, so you know how there was that big out of bounds that he did in the first underwater level? Well, he's gonna do it again, and this clip is notorious for not working when you're on pace. I like to call it the RNG clip. That's my personal cope. So yeah, he's gonna do it right now. And the end of the level typically has you going to the right and up. However, Murcaz is going to try to enter through the red gem route, which is an alternative route, and hopefully not pick up the red gem because that's an extra animation, and he'll lose time if he does that.
This
Nice,
gave
nice.
me way more trouble than I thought it would, but we got it. So
In deep
Not
trouble,
bad.
huh?
that level used to be horrendous, by the way. It's back in the day.
It's weird because Deep Trouble has always been a very hard level, and it was kind of one of those where the more you dive into it, the more you practice, the more fun it kind of becomes, but it's still extremely scary every time.
Yeah.
And so you're still getting to see a lot of that in the first half of it, and then being able to skip the second half where it gets worse. So you're just like, yeah, okay, this is great. This is just the best of both worlds now.
I couldn't imagine a world where I don't go out of bounds in deep trouble.
It wasn't a fun one, I can tell you that.
We spent so long trying to make that level not awful because everyone had issues with it. The inner
that-
cut there. In this level, I'm just gonna be like trying to like take optimal lines and not get pushed in the dirt too much. There's some times where I'm gonna do it like deliberately, but other than that, I should just say watch and let's hear some donations because this is a perfect time.
Yeah, go for it, Xenadir.
Alrighty then, here is $30 from Marforia that says Crash 3 NST was one of my very first speedruns, and it's always mega hyped to see it at GDQ. I can't think of anyone better to showcase this run than the man himself, Murcaz. So proud of you, dude. Can't wait to see you in Wumpa League Esports next.
Thank you so
Yo,
much. I
Marforia.
appreciate that.
Here is $10 from Rico that says Murcaz agrees with me. That's all it says, just that.
That's an inside joke, but I appreciate that, Rico. Thank you. That's another fantastic Crash runner.
Oh, yeah. Love you, Rico.
Here,
Yeah, you can
we
go
have
ahead.
more time?
Yeah.
All right. $5 here from The Happy Bear that says, it's my birthday today, and I want to use my day for good by donating to Prevent Cancer Foundation. Shoutouts to all the hardworking folks who are working to eradicate this terrible disease for good. Scientists and doctors rock!
So based.
I agree. All right, so we're nearing the end of this level, and this was a bit messy. I went a bit like, what should I say, out of bounds compared to like what I want to be. It's like out in the dirt, which slows me down. But other than that, it was like a completely decent-ish level. This Warp 3 hasn't been too bad so far. A bit slow, deep trouble, but it's
That's just the average Warp 3 experience, though.
Yeah, very true.
This game has really great pacing in terms of it gets more difficult as it goes along, but that can be very frustrating as a runner sometimes. But Warp 3 is notoriously difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of where a lot of runs go to die because it has a lot of tough stuff in it. And then you cap it off with a boss fight that, once you're well practiced, shouldn't be an issue, but it's still really easy to end up failing the quick method of.
There are some chill levels in this game, like the jet ski levels, for example. Warp 3 doesn't have any. Not a single chill level. It's just full on the entire time.
Yeah. And all these hob slides that Murcaz is doing, this pathing he's taking, sometimes it feels a little erratic, right? Like he just sets up on the left there and then swings off to the right. That's because we want to avoid jumping as much as possible, or if you are going to jump, you want that jump to lead directly into your next hob slide setup because you will lose that speed as soon as you're in the air. So it just turns down to like where can we navigate to avoid various pits and maybe slide directly up a wall or a ramp instead of having to jump to get up on that wall.
Yeah, you can also skip a lot of these holes that Murcaz is electing not to skip because he's sane and doesn't want to die to them.
Yeah, that last
0.1
one,
time saves in a marathon.
The very last one is I've always been like, nah, I'm too scared to do that one.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right, here comes like actually one of the hardest levels in the run.
In this route, for sure.
Yeah, in this route. It can go very wrong very fast. And if it does, I'm just gonna go do a backup because there's a very good chance I'll die here.
It's pretty though, if you do it right.
Yeah, the timing with which Murcaz is leaving these carpets is very specific to try to go as quick as possible, as you might imagine in a speed run, but specifically trying to land certain cycles, not having to wait on anything that he can avoid waiting on.
This is one of those really fun levels where if you're too fast, then you're too fast and you're gonna suffer for it. So you need to really know what you're doing. You can't just blitz it. He also really wants to keep his 2 masks for Warp 4 because it's very important. That's a nice recovery there.
I'll just do a backup then because I should have done a double jump up to the carpet instead, but it happens. Definitely happens.
Especially along those walls, whenever you're doing the climbs in these kind of Arabian-style levels, the climbing up the wall, like sometimes if you're hugging the wall at just the wrong angle, it'll just kind of eat a jump from you and stuff. So those are pretty notoriously rough.
Yeah.
I
love the jump eating. Really big fan of like not getting my double jump. All right, now we're entering the third boss. Well, the second we're seeing. But
Yeah.
the third. And this one we're also not gonna do the traditional way. Clutching told me to not mess this up.
I did.
So I'm probably gonna mess it up. To be honest, like.
Yeah, so by utilizing the glitch high jump that they put into this game intentionally as a reference to the original game, you can get enough height by doing one of those and a double jump to be able to just clear over to the opposite section. And then by using a damage boost off of a projectile by, using up a mask, that's why we have these masks, you get an auto jump that'll actually effectively give you enough distance to be able to land over there and defeat Entropy and grab the Death Tornado Spin power-up.
Yeah. And now Murcaz is going to do this really cool thing called a Mock Tornado as he exits the level and goes into Warp 4.
Yeah, so Hobbs siding is out of the game, so is Hobbs. Bye, Hobbs. No.
Bye. See ya. I'm dropping out.
No, so now it gets switched out with something called Mock Tornadoes, which is... It has the same principle as like Hobbside. It's just like lasts for longer and you can do it off like flat ground, but you cannot chain them anymore. So
yeah.
I need to like restart it every time. But because of my spin lasts so long, I can always restart it wherever I want. But yeah, the chaining part of it is gone. So it's a lot easier to do like initially, but adds another layer to it.
Yeah.
And normally... or like if you were to be super optimal, there was actually a new route found where we skip that boss and don't get the Mock Tornado, which clutching is the...
That sounds cool. I like that route.
Yeah.
You mentioned it in the interview, and clutching, you want to just give a couple words on that since you are the one who worked on it the most and made it faster.
Look,
not the first to have the theory, but the first to make it faster, I think.
I spent a lot of hard work trying to find that route, and then Murcaz just goes ahead and says everybody hates it. I think it's nice. I like that.
I think it's very cool as somebody who has never done it and doesn't have any immediate plans to.
Thank you, Hobbs. I appreciate that.
So we have time for a few donations now if you have any for us.
I have so many. Thank you. Here's $20 here from Silver that says, "Hey, Murcaz, I can't wait to see you skip Entropy later. Best of luck and all the best." A $200 donation from Jamie the Bunwi. I never know if I pronounced that right. That says, "Good luck!"
I appreciate that so much to both of you, Silver and Jamie. Great community members, and Silver's also a very good runner at this game, so...
Yes. I got to give a jab to Murcaz real quick that he almost got hit trying to avoid going for a faster thing because I'm worried about getting hit. It's funny.
Yeah, I'd rather want to keep this mask. Really want to keep it. Okay, we have time for one more, I think.
Okay, then here is... okay. Jumping on the donation train for a game that we call Insane. There's sliding and jumping and fruits that are wumping. These runs always entertain. And that was from the Eternal Hedgehog $50 donation. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate the donations.
Cool. So out of some of the tails. Got 2 masks. Go ahead, Clutch.
Where would you rank Tomb Raider then if High Time is your hardest level, Murcaz? Because I would probably put it at 2.
The third? Flaming is harder, I think.
Okay,
really?
Yeah, I'd put Tomb Raider at 2. This level is really hard, and you're going to see Murcaz risk his life and edge death like 100 million times.
That's just a really bad start.
You can catch up on that. You can catch up on that. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this level is really tough, and it actually... Part of what ends up making this level a lot more consistent for runners or the kind of way that you can see which runners have put a ton of time into it is that there are actually ways to speed up or extend the length of your Death Tornado spin. When you are kind of hovering in the air, they're spinning around constantly. By varying up the timings with which you press the buttons, that was terrifying.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna
varying up the that's fine. I think that's a good call. By varying up the timings, you can change how long you're in the air, which is extremely useful in a level like this one where you need to navigate between a bunch of platforms over instant death water planes, like instant kill water planes.
That was a bit scary, so I'm just like taking it slow and making sure I keep these masks because these masks are really important. So
yeah, making God Cycle there would have been like just impossible.
Yeah.
This is a pretty solid Tomb Raider, though. You can definitely see what I meant when I said edge is death like a million times. That water, if that touches your legs, then it tends to catch you and make you not jump very well. And then when it gets past, like, I don't know, your chest, you're just gone. You're just gone.
Yeah, the death is right about, like you're saying, right around that chest level is when you'll instant die from it. But that is, you're totally on point in terms of like the scarier part is that slide jumping in it when it's still shallow can sometimes just eat the height of your jump and really ruin everything.
Absolutely love the being dragged into water thing. Like you just don't get your jump and you're just like, okay, well, my run's done. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't want that jump anyway, to be honest.
This is another level. This opening I always thought was also exemplary of that whole how long you want your death tornado spin to happen thing. Because sometimes you go for just a very quick one to get you to the next laser because you have to wait for it. Other times you want to extend it so you can go like around a laser. You're going to see kind of the origin of double sliding right here. Sliding under those boxes. That was where we really first started to find it and play around with it. And now at this top level and stuff, you're just doing them all over the place.
Okay, I just love hearing about all this lore that I had absolutely no idea about.
Oh yeah, that was the one we did for a while when we had no idea how it worked. You just mashed slide and sometimes it worked.
So with a 2D section like this one, Murcaz has to really know what's coming. That guy with the laser, you really have to know when he's going to laser you so that you can use that damage abuse, the height that you get from it, to get up to the next platform. And you need to know if this bee, we call them bees for some reason, is going to be stinging you or not. You just have to have really great knowledge on these levels where you just have to know what's coming because you're moving so fast.
Jump. That slide jump with no spin was ambitious over the shielded porcupine enemy.
So I have a few choices here. I can try the damage abuse or I can not try the damage abuse. But my success rate with it is usually pretty low. So what's the GDQ chat thing? Do you all think I should do it? I'm sure you all say yes, so I'm just going to try.
Already knew before they'd even started posting. So this opening is also a good example of the difference between mock tornadoes and hob slides. That damage abuse that Murcaz was talking about is in order to change the door cycles, because when you take damage, the doors are forced open for a bit. And now he does something very interesting, and this is too new for my time clutching. What's going on?
Oh, is it? Wow.
No,
okay.
I mean, I know about it, but I never did it.
Okay, so there's just a hole there. There is straight up just a hole. Anybody can do this. I swear to you, anybody can do this. You just stand on the second or third step, go backwards, do a glitch high double jump, and you're up here. And Murcaz is just doing a bunch of mock. There are some gaps up here that he can fall into, and it's not a big deal. He can get right back out. But he basically has to space and time his mock so that he's jumping over these gaps, and it's a bunch of blind movement. It's
so
really interesting.
That door just closed on me because I did the damage abuse. If I didn't do the damage abuse, that door wouldn't have. Oh, gee,
you got the cool. Oh, that was great. What a swag ending.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
An infinite
cool
slide
animation
glitch.
Yeah.
Into whatever it's called. A transition hop. Wow.
Yeah, so I messed up the doors by going for the damage abuse because it like resets the doors or whatever. So that's a bit unfortunate, but otherwise a pretty decent level.
Oh man, first plane level, huh? Fun fact about these levels, so you can just hold the shoot button and it's just going to shoot at like a rate. But if you mash it at 60 frames per second, you are going to get 60 shots in a second. And so you want to mash these shots if you can. It's
for the record, nobody mashes at 60 frames a second.
No.
But yeah, it is faster to mash, which is also something like I didn't know when we were running this. I don't know if any of us knew at that time.
No, I didn't know until a couple months ago. I felt like I'd been gatekept against.
Yeah, I know. I straight up booted the game up when I read that was a thing, and I was like, "There's no way that they're lying." And it's you can just straight up mash them.
There's so many things in this game where I feel like that's the case. Or it's like, there's no way that's true. There's no way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
another gate clip now.
So, we're gonna be quiet once he starts this one, but the next boss would be Engine, which is a really long, like it's a pretty slow one, and it just gives the bazooka power, which we don't care about. So now I'm gonna shut up so that he can focus.
Okay,
Nice.
I entered a level at least. So
Yep.
Very nice.
Do we know which one?
Mad Bombers.
Mad
Okay,
Bombers,
great,
hey.
great. Okay,
That's good.
We got it. We got it.
That's the right level.
Yeah, because you're moving just under that black screen the whole time, you don't know exactly which button you're on, and it doesn't even make a noise, if you might have been listening closely, because of the way that you do it on PC. Like, there are ways to make it make noises while you're doing stuff, but yeah, it's very odd, but you don't always know which level you're going to end up in. Mad Bombers is the ideal pick.
I think this might actually be bordering on PB pace for Murcaz, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I'm a bit behind.
Okay,
A
it's
bit
not too
behind?
bad,
Okay.
though. Like, this has been really
no.
solid.
No, I just had to bring it up, though. Something will happen.
You make me look bad pitching. Come on.
So Murcaz just going through a set path. These planes always move in the same path. The enemies don't, I don't think, but the ones that you actually need to shoot down do. And there's really, like, every vehicle level, even though some of them kind of seem simple, they all have their little intricacies to them. So for those, a lot of it is just knowing exactly how far ahead of the vehicles you need to aim, exactly how many shots they're going to take to destroy one of the engines, so you can start moving on to the next one immediately before the bullets have even landed. Stuff like that that's really, really kind of technical and too in-depth for us to get into here, but it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
So-
those guys, those other plane enemies that get in your way, they can just... I think they did it for Murcaz at one point, actually, while he was trying to shoot it down. You just lose time if they decide to get in front of you, which is, just sucks.
Yeah, they can just absolutely absorb those bullets that you're trying to hit the engines with.
So here's the last motorcycle level and
Last vehicle level, too.
Yeah, last vehicle level. So we're gonna use this for some donations to get them in before the run ends.
Alrighty then, here's a $50 donation from Rexy that says, I'm always happy to see Crash Bandicoot at a GDQ event. From one European to another, I wish Murcaz the best of luck with breaking through Crash 3 NST, and to all the other runners and staff for putting on a wholesome marathon. Donation goes to Runner's Choice, which I believe is Cuphead, is that correct?
Correct, yeah. Looking forward to seeing that.
Alrighty then.
Cuphead's
An update on that. Cuphead would be so good, 300%. I never knew that was a thing until now. It's at $17,810 of the $33,333.33 needed. We are well on our way, and we still have several hours. I believe in you. Oh, that is a mouthful every time I have to say all those numbers. All right, next donation if we have time.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Awesome. Here is $5 from Tim Red that says, ready for AGDQ, ready for Crash Bandicoot. And then I had to make sure I read this number right. $2,500. That's $2,500 from
Whoa.
Greg Horst. No message, just a huge donation. Thank you so
that's
much for
wild.
that. Wow.
It's a massive donation.
Wow.
The generosity is mind-blowing in this community. I really appreciate all of you.
Yeah, that is incredible. Murcaz was still doing some, like, advanced movement in that level, but it is similar to what we were talking about in the first one, where it's about holding your boost as long as possible.
Yeah. Once you've
And
explained the
everyone-
concepts, it's kind of just, same thing, different place.
Right. And with just different cycles. But now we're heading into the last three platforming stages of the run, and Bug Light, this is always where I say, like, mock tornadoes, if you want to learn some speed tech in a video game, mock tornadoes are super easy to learn, and this is the spot to do it, in my opinion. That first hill right there is incredibly easy to set up these mock tornadoes on. But now, once you get past that first hill, this level gets a lot scarier because you got to navigate in between TNT, the crocodiles that are jumping up, or alligators, I don't know what they are. And you're trying to worry about this door cycle coming up as well, but there is a fun way to get through it by just sliding at the right time.
That's called a Crody slide, and shout outs to my friend Crody. He's found a lot of interesting ways to optimize this game, and we really appreciate it.
Also been a really good historian of the game, kind of like somebody who cares a lot about documenting all the strats and different kind of stages of the run as it evolves.
Oh, yeah.
So this triple mask should extend long enough for Murcaz to get all the way through this door. It will not close while you have triple mask. That used to be a really tight cycle. Now it's just kind of a pretty casual one. And then another damage boost to keep that back door open before exiting. You did not miss the checkpoint and then have what looked like kind of a sketchy.
I was wondering if he got that. I was like, I didn't see that break, but I swear he spun right through it.
We gotta risk it. We gotta risk it.
It was just funny because I saw it and it was like, oh, it should be fine. And then you had like the sketchiest looking dip mock tornado.
The run has been too clean, so we have to make some risks to it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's already getting to the end, but dude, it's insane how fast this goes.
It actually is.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Gone tomorrow. So one thing we haven't had to bring up this entire run because Murcaz has been playing too well is that when you do take a death in this run, all of your cycles in these platforming levels completely change because
so
they're.
bad.
They're all set from when you kind of the level first loads, and when you spawn in from from no death. Just unfortunate there on the damage, not a big deal. When you spawn in normally, there's like this sweeping camera movement, and you hop out of the portal, and it takes longer than when you respawn from a death. And because of that, the cycles are completely different. And so, to know the levels in this game, you kind of have to know all of the levels twice. And on top of that, when you're in the hop sliding sections, you need to know where to set up hop slides everywhere. So you need to know them in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different contexts. Now that last damage was intentional, actually.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's so cheeky.
Yeah, when we were first finding that, like, those intentional damage boosts to start mock tornadoes, that was some really sick tech.
Those invincibility frames, they barely last through the next laser as well. It's really easy to die to that.
Ooh, and that was a good option play there by Murcaz to like hold out in front of the lasers.
Yeah, missing some of the cycles that I would have wanted, but it's like it's small mistake. Like small. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest, guys. So like sometimes
I think you're doing great.
Small mistakes lead me to do backup cycles.
But
honestly,
even like, go ahead, Clutching.
Getting the backup cycles in itself is impressive. I wouldn't go into this expecting to get all the god cycles. Hell no.
Yeah, no, and it's really easy to think you're going to be on pace for a cycle and turn what could be, waiting 2 seconds for a cycle to roll over into a death that costs you 25 seconds. So it like having that kind of sense, like even right there, that double jump is not something you normally need, but he didn't get a glitch high jump that he was trying to get. And so he had to very quickly react and do a double jump to avoid landing in that flame pit.
No, great improv.
Yeah, that was incredible. I wish we had a heart rate monitor on Murcaz because I guarantee it spiked up about 12 points when he did that.
I'm just gonna take this guy safe because I really dislike this guy.
I agree. I just like all three of these, honestly, because it's like, if everything lines up perfectly, you can kind of do a mock tornado through them, but it's the scariest thing.
One of the first Crash 3 runs I saw live was J-Hobbs killing a run, or not killing a run, actually getting world record with dying to that guy, like the third stable guy.
Yeah, but thankfully it was right after a checkpoint, I think. Flaming Passion is like, it's not necessarily the hardest run from a technical standpoint, or hardest level in the run from a technical standpoint, but because of where it is, because it is the last level, and it's not free. It's not like, it's not a jet ski level that is kind of a lot more simple. All the pressure's on you, all the nerves are there, and you still have to do all this really solid platforming in order to land all these cycles. So it is a very tough one for the end of the run.
I can promise you, everybody and anybody who has a top time in this game has died on pace to Flaming Passion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dozens of times.
Okay, Murcaz got bad RP here.
Are you serious?
Wow!
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You were so far away from that. That was garbage.
Those mines, they have variance in where they land. They can land close or far, and you want them to land far away from Cortex so that you can get him off that hoverboard as soon as possible and get him into the hole in the middle.
I can't believe I was in range for that.
Yeah, you seemed so far away.
And they have enormous hitboxes.
Yeah.
The one death in the run had to be the Cortex, huh?
At least it was first phase. And see, you could see the RNG at play right here. Murcaz is still kind of playing it a little bit safe there in how he was navigating around the mines that were laid out, but they were all significantly further away from where Cortex landed.
sad story time. This would have clutched out at 39 if I didn't die there.
Yeah, that's sad.
But yeah, it's this has been a pretty good run, even with this death. I guess we could at least show off how Crash looks when he dies.
For clarification, Murcaz is also timing this with a load remover. So when he says 39, and it's going to say like 44 or something for you guys.
Oh yeah,
it's the load remover time.
What are these mines?
I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, that was
These are
terrible.
PvP pace mines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna start kind of like an outro and say that this run's been amazing, and the time is coming up in about like 30 seconds, and it's been really fun, and I can't wait to get back into streaming things, and I'm gonna do a very long stream next week, 20 hours. So if you wanna check that out, you can come on check me out, or check Hobbs and Clutching out as well. They do a lot of different speed stuff.
Oh, I just do this.
And I just do not this lately. But I'll be back one day, I'm sure. Get ready.
And time.
Very nice run, man.
40:31. That's what it was. Loadless.
That's incredible.
Isn't that your time, Hobbs? Your PB?
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna check. I'm checking right now. Hold on. This needs to. I gotta check. I meant to pull this up beforehand to see if Murcaz was gonna beat me on live on this.
Your run is very dated, to be fair.
You beat me by 2 seconds.
Oh,
yes.
Murcaz can never let me rest. He's always gotta one up me. It's great. GG, man. What a great run.
Yeah, that was an amazing run. Thank you, GDQ, for having me, and I really appreciate that. It's a good start. My in EU, where I'm from, I'm not. My birthday is in 3 hours, so I'm gonna go celebrate that and have fun. And it's been amazing. 2 wonderful commentators, and the run was really good. So I'm happy about it. So as I said, if you want to check me out on Twitter, I'm Murcaz1. On Twitch, I'm Murcaz. Follow me if you liked what you saw. And I think it's twitch.tv/jhobbs296, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And twitch.tv/casually clutching. So check them out as well. They're fantastic runners and fantastic people. So yeah, thank you, GDQ, for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Murcaz, for having me. Appreciate it.
And thanks for my family for watching.
That was another run, hop slid, spun, and bounced through for a great cause. Murcaz, I hope you have a wonderful birthday celebration, and thank you for spending your time with us, raising money for PCF. Wow, the runs go so fast, I never realized, like, that was 40-something minutes. Okay, wow. And we're at $53,623 already. Y'all are killing it. Let's read some donations, huh? Like this last one that I wish I would have had more time to read earlier. $15 here from Craig that says, happy to donate while Merc was tearing it up. He's the fastest boy alive. Skull! All right, I've gotten to it. Heard something in the background. Nice. All right, here's $20 donation here from Count Zero that says, this past year, my mom won her battle against cancer. I'm donating to help the Prevent Cancer Foundation help keep others from having to go through that fight. Let's kick cancer's butt. Money goes to getting that Cuphead bonus game incentive. And funny enough, I have another donation here, $20 from Adam the Feverish. Weirdly topical. Let's go GDQ. Let's go Prevent Cancer Foundation. Let's go runners and staff. Let's go generous donors. Let's go, Mom! Shout outs to my mom. So shout outs to moms everywhere. Mine is super supportive of everything I do, and I'm very thankful for that. Shout outs to all moms, and shout out Count Zero to your mom for winning her battle against cancer. You love to hear it. Speaking of bonus game Cuphead, where that donation went to, we're at $18,640 of the $33,333.33 we need. Y'all are still tearing it up. I love seeing it. It's fantastic that we're raising money for such a great cause and we're doing it together. Wow, $50 donation here from Dirty Laundry that says Cuphead 300%. What's that? I want to know. Well, if you want to know, we got to unlock that bonus game and we're well on our way. All right, that said, we are going to take a moment here while we get set up for the next run and the next segments. Everybody take your drink and stretch breaks, and we'll be back in a few moments here. Welcome back, my friends. I hope you all got your drinks, your stretches in. We're having a great time here. I want to share with you a $50 donation here from an intelligent fern that says, thank you to GDQ for all the work you've done for great causes, and thank you to GDQ staff and tech behind the scenes keeping this show running through any technical problems. The event wouldn't be the same without you. Seriously, thank you to everyone behind the scenes that I'm able to work with. Y'all are the reason that these marathons happen, and I'm so thankful for it. With that said, other parties that help put the events on, such as Running with Speed or the Yeti Humble Bundle, we'd like to tell you about a few of them. Alrighty, Running with Speed. This is the definitive speedrunning documentary, and I just found out the other day that one of my good friends from college got to work on this, which is infinitely more hype for me. Running with Speed is narrated by YouTube legend that you know and you love, Summoning Salt, and it features the world's top speedrunners and even the GDQ community. Some of the names that you might recognize include David Hunt, which is Grand Pooh Bear, the Spike Vegeta, Oats and Goats, Glitchcat7, so many other people. $1 per purchase for the entirety of AGDQ here. So now through the end of AGDQ in January 15th, $1 from each purchase will go to charity. So it'll go towards Prevent Cancer Foundation, which is a fantastic way to do things. So you can find them at runningwithspeed.com. Once again, that is runningwithspeed.com. Whew. All right. That is my time on the mic for day one of AGDQ 2023 online. Thank you all so much for having me, for bringing the hype, the energy, the love, and of course, the very cute chat. I will see you all later this week, but for now, I leave you with the professional, the talented, and the oh so amazing Cardi B themselves, Cartridge Blowers. Please, my friend, take it away.
Oh my goodness. Good afternoon, GD Cuties. It's me. It's Cardi B, aka your best friend here for the next few hours at Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online, powered by Twitch. Xenadir just did an amazing job handing it off to me. I owe him a boba tea from last year's SUDQ. I'm really excited to follow him up, and I'm happy to be here with you today for yet another uncanny speedrunning marathon. My chat, my people at home, are you hype? Can you feel it? Cute chat, give me some hype. I'd love to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're with me. You know, one game that I am hyped for today, of the many games that are really great, is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of the best, if not the best, Castlevania game in the world ever made. And we've got an interview right now with the runner, Dragon Blitz, who is sitting down with Keizaron. Take it away.
Quick 2023 online. I'm Keizaron. I'm joined by my good pal DB. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Today?
How you been, dude? It's been a while.
It's what?
Yeah,
since
happy
October?
to see you.
It was October,
Yeah.
right? See, we're currently seeing each other. This is true. I wish it were in person, but that's okay. I'm going to be perfectly honest, folks. DB and I did absolutely zero prep, which makes total sense because it's us. We're a bunch of boneheads. So we're going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use a lot of social media stuff. So we're just going to kick it right to social media with this. Really good question right here, right off the bat, is from @Lucas M. Thomas. If you could transform into a bat, a wolf, or a cloud of mist, which one would you pick and why? Nothing but
This
quality
is
questions.
fantastic question. In my mind, it's got to go bat top tier, mist close to top tier, but still a decent option. But the wolf, unfortunately, just a little too limiting. If not, in my heart, I want to believe wolf could be good, but the ability to fly is just too good, man.
I mean, what does wolf even do? I played Soten casually, but like, what does wolf even do again? I never really
It clips through floors.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't hear about it, because I'm a casual scrub. So we also have this question from, that's a lot of numbers, at Felicia448774338. I hope I didn't say your phone number out loud or anything like that. Do you run other Castlevania games? I think that'd be cool for everyone in chat to know.
Yeah. Nothing nearly as serious as Symphony of the Night. Symphony of the Night is my favorite game of all time, so I've spent the most amount of time speedrunning that. But I've learned a couple of the Game Boy Advance games, Aria of Sorrow, the Maxim any percent speedrun for Harmony of Dissonance takes like 30 seconds to do, so that's a fun one to whip out. Shout outs to all of the Game Boy Advance and DS Castlevania runners. You guys are sick.
All right, we also have at Star Tracings asking, what's your favorite memory from learning this game? And I'm assuming that's supposed to be and from the run for the first time. And anything stood out, like first time you managed a difficult trick or a way a run died? Just what was the memorable part of it?
Funny enough, the most memorable part of learning this game is I started learning this game in 2013, almost 10 years ago. And I booted up stream, and it was TurboDog702, shout outs to you, showed up in my chat and literally taught me how to play the game from start to finish for a speedrun. Because I didn't know anything about the game. I just kind of booted it up, and I'm like, oh, I've seen RomScout do all these tricks. Let me see if I can do them. And
shout outs to RomScout.
Oh, yeah. Shout outs to RomScout as well. A huge inspiration for me playing this game in the first place. And yeah, it was just if it wasn't for him sitting down and taking the time to teach me the game, I never would have gotten through it because there were no tutorials at the time. TurboDog ended up creating a tutorial series that encompasses all of speedrunning the game now, but I was kind of part of the progress of him getting that tutorial series up and running, him teaching it to me. So that's a memory that always sticks with me because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
All right, we talked about this question before we went live with this interview, and it's from at Diazonite. I hope I said that right. Is there an unusual speedrunning category that you personally wish either got more attention or that you would like to create? And it could be either base game or randomized.
So a brand new-ish speedrun category got invented as a meme for Symphony of the Night. A few years ago, gosh, it must be 5 years ago or 6 years ago now, I ran the Zero Bosses category for Games Done Quick. And we've since been able to expand on the Zero Bosses category to create a reverse boss order category for the game. So since you can beat the game without fighting any of the bosses, you pretty much can fight them in whatever order you want. So we had to find a way to define the reverse order because the game is so open. And it's a big meme. For example, we don't count Lesser Demon as a boss because he doesn't show up in the list of bosses, but he is obviously a boss. It's a big meme. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, reverse boss order. Definitely check that category out. Very glitchy, very fast, very fun.
Pretty decent segue to mention to everyone at home that you're not actually just doing any percent today.
We're doing all bosses.
We met the incentive really quickly to do an all bosses run. So you get more Soten for your view time. And on the topic of Soten and the last question I'm going to ask before I let you go and zen out before your run. This is from at Sandpie, someone who's one of my mods, so I don't know why I'm asking his question. But when will you teach Keys? Hey, that's me. How to go fast at Soten.
Whenever he's ready. The game has tons of resources. If you want to learn more about speedrunning this game yourself, whether your Keizaron or not, the speedrun.com page, we have a ton of resources there. It links to our Discord group and all that stuff. So definitely a very open and welcoming community if you want to find a game that's really quick to learn, but difficult to master. Symphony of the Night is definitely a great one.
Well, you heard it there, folks. If you want to learn it yourself, there's tons of resources available. You can also watch DB absolutely nail the run today. You're going to do great. You always do great. We're going to throw it back to the host. Thanks for spending your time with us, everyone, and we'll see you on the other side.
All right, thank you so much for the interview, Keys. I'm really, really excited for that. Soten was one of the games I hosted for on my very first GDQ shift back at SGDQ 2019, and it was for Dragon Blitz, so I'm really excited to see it again.